in Scientology. He was the Commodore of this fleet. And the operation is essentially run from there. Not completely sure why, but there's a lot of things about Scientology that are still unknown. But Jeremy Perkins was sent back from the LA facility to live with his mom. He was rejected as an unsuitable candidate, I guess. And because she was a Scientologist, she decided that turns out he was paranoid schizophrenic. And she didn't believe in psychiatric treatment or drugs to resolve this, so she treated him with vitamins and kept him at home. He didn't like taking the vitamins. They obviously didn't do anything to help him, and he ended up stabbing his mother 77 times. Scientologists don't like when people talk negatively about their religion, and I suppose nobody really does. I can understand that, but they have launched a campaign. They have lists of evil people and hated people and enemies of Scientology, and they file lawsuits like crazy, and it's for the sole purpose to harass. It doesn't matter to them whether they win or not. They've filed lawsuits to harass, and that's, at least from the documents that have come out from some people who've left the organization, a little ticked off and brought the information out to the public. The internet evidently caught Scientologists by surprise, and when they found out that there was some of their secret information and some negative publicity was out there on the internet, they weren't really prepared to shut it down. They entered a bunch of legal battles with different websites saying, you need to remove this, this is copyrighted material and everything else. Fortunately, there were court cases where the information which we have was actually entered into the public record. Otherwise, it would actually be illegal for anybody to relay the story about Xenu, because that's proprietary knowledge that they're charging $300,000 to $500,000 for. But in 1998, the Church of Scientology. Go ahead.
How can they have a legal case for that? I mean, proprietary knowledge. I mean, the people who are posting it on the internet haven't signed anything. And is there a copyright on it?
If you get this, yeah, it would be that way. If you get the script to the next Star Wars movie, if there is one, and published it on the internet for free before the movie was made, you would be facing criminal charges. Yeah, it is kind of a copyright issue. But anyway, in order to protect their members from the SPs like me, the Church of Suppressive Person, I think. The Church of Scientology began issuing its members a CD containing a copy of Netscape Navigator in 1998. Those who installed Netscape didn't realize that a censorware program had been incorporated into the installation process. This program gives no indication of its presence and offers no means of removal. If you're a member of the Church of Scientology and you have installed this software, try going to xenu.net, xenu.net, or clambake.org, and you'll probably find that if you're using that particular software, granted this is 7 years ago.
And I would bet that they probably told everybody that if you use Internet Explorer, you're at SP.
I don't know that for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. But they've got this campaign to discredit people and harass people in order to keep the reputation of the church kind of, high, which is why one of the reasons why the celebrities are treated so well. The celebrity doesn't go through what some of the others do. I mean, there are people who worked for the Sea Org, because if you can't afford to pay $300,000 to $500,000, they still want you to be in the religion and join and become clear. And if you join the Sea Org, that's a way for you to work for Scientology, to pay off the debt and move yourself towards the upper levels. There are people in the Sea Org who work for way below minimum wage, like getting a paycheck for a week or a month that was $3. They also sign a 1 billion year contract. When you believe in reincarnation, signing a contract for 1 billion years is the right thing to do. So I'm going to work for the Sea Org for 1 billion years. And during your time,
how are they going to keep track of that, though? when you die and come back?
I don't know. I'm not privy to the high levels. Maybe there's something in the L levels that tells how they track down. I might have signed a contract in a former life. I might have to look into that.
Yeah, you should check that out.
A billion years.
Of course, if I may speculate a little, when you're talking about famous actors, which is most of the people they trot out for Scientology, what you're talking about is somebody who is generally young, because they like good-looking people, and has a whole bunch of money, and has probably been completely caught by surprise about having a whole bunch of money since you go more or less straight from struggling actor working at a restaurant to, hey, you were in this one mega hit, now everybody wants you. So, hey, somebody who has a bunch of money and is young and naive and doesn't know what to do about it. Good target.
Yeah, and I don't believe for a second that these people I don't know for sure what Tom Cruise or anybody else knows. I don't know what level of Scientology they're in. I don't know what they've been exposed to. I find it hard to believe that they are really in the know on what's gone on, that they've been privy to the horror stories of some people who've gotten out of Scientology, because if you aren't meeting your expectations, if you're an employee of the Church of Scientology, whether in the Sea Org or in LA or wherever, they've locked people up in closets and put them on bread and water for days or weeks at a time while they sort out their issues and get back on track. Meanwhile, they're paying them $3 a week. Once you deduct room and board and the price for the training sessions that they're doing, plus the entire thing works off of supposedly, Scientology as a whole brought in this much money this month, and we have this many employees. And what you do is you're graded, and if you bring in X number of people to our registrar station, you get X number of credits, and that's a number of shares in the total profits for that period of time for you.
Scientology sounds a lot like sharecropping in a way. It's like, you live on the master's land, and you can only buy things in their store, and they make sure to charge more than you can afford for it.
Yeah.
So you become an indentured servant.
But for anybody who wants more information, because I just kind of went through it relatively quickly, clambake.org is a really good site to get more information. It is not an unbiased site. He'll tell you right up front. It goes through and it talks. There have been people who've posted there who are former Scientologists, and the people at Clambake, and I would agree with them, think that this is a really dangerous money-making cult thing, and